Alright, after 2 weeks, we are back, and we got the 1132 spoilers, but these spoilers are strange. It's almost as if Oda himself wrote them. So instead of doing the standard video construction that I do, I'm just gonna lay them out here, and then we'll go over them afterwards. So, the Straw Hats, including Luffy, arrive at the village in the center of Elbaf, where Road is defeated by Gerd and Goldberg. Everyone reacts to the breathtaking scenery of Elbaf, while a narration box describes its grandeur. The chapter concludes with a note from Leis Arnold, the same person who documented the adventure in Little Garden. It says, "Don't linger in Elbaf for too long." On the final page, there's a silhouette walking through the woods of Elbaf. So yeah, that's it. That's all we have for the spoilers for now. I feel like this is going to be one of those weeks where I'm going to have to make like 3 videos for the spoilers as they get released, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. So the first line here, the Straw Hats, including Luffy, arrive at the village in the center of Elbaf, where Road is defeated by Gerd and Goldberg. So Luffy is reuniting with the Straw Hats. In the previous chapter, we obviously saw that he was with Loki the entire time. And then when we cut to the other Straw Hats, they were like running away from Road, but we also see that Gerd and Goldberg were chasing behind him, and Goldberg was straight up carrying the Thousand Sunny, which is like an incredible feat, but whatever. We also found out that Gerd and Goldberg were the doctor and cook of the new giant pirates, which I don't know if that really matters, but it's listed here. And they're defeating Road, who is like such a terrible character, but I guess there's a purpose for him. And like I said, Luffy reuniting here, meaning that we didn't see whatever his resolution with Loki was, because it left off with Loki insulting Shanks just to get a reaction out of Luffy, or just trying to get more data from him. And it made Luffy more curious, of course, asking like, why did Shanks come here? Why did he come to see you? You know, what's going on? And Loki was like, well, you won't be getting those answers for nothing. So does this mean that Luffy released Loki in exchange for info on Shanks? It's very possible, but we just don't know. And I'll go a little bit more into that once we get into the other spoilers. So everyone reacts to the breathtaking scenery of Elbaf, while a narration box describes its grandeur. That's cool and all. I feel like we've had a few of these sequences already, but I guess we're just going to keep having them. That's fine. I'm sure Oda is very excited to finally get into this stuff. But the chapter concludes with a note from Leis Arnold, the same person who documented the adventure in Little Garden. It says, "Don't linger in Elbaf for too long." Okay, let's go into this guy, Leis Arnold. So back in chapter 115, it was revealed that there is a famous book called the Bragmen, which contains stories from the Grand Line. It's a collection of journals from explorers of the distant past. However, the people in this book have been written off as liars, and the book itself is labeled as fiction romance, which of course is supposed to be like a little wink at Oda's Romance Dawn. However, Leis Arnold describes Little Garden and reveals the origin of its name, and he also mentions that Dory and Bragi are inhabiting the island. Well, I don't think he says Dory and Bragi specifically, but he does say giants. Also, this book was kept in the Tree of Knowledge on Ohara, back 22 years ago when that Buster call was sent. And now we're finding out that this dude made it to Elbaf somehow, despite it being so difficult to get into the New World. It's just like anybody can get there. I mean, even freaking Thriller Bark can get to the New World somehow, but that's besides the point. So the holiday season is here, and if you're like me, you're probably looking for that perfect, unique gift for friends and family. Well, I've got something that's not only thoughtful, but also super useful, and that's thanks to today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. It draws flavor to your mouth. It's not a vape because it has no vapor, it has no nicotine, non-toxic flavors, no batteries. It can calm anxiety with its fidget motions that has magnets, snaps, and clicks. And it has this really cool base that holds your fume for you, or you can spin it around. It comes in 2 aesthetic colors and has a bunch of great flavors. My new favorite is the black licorice. So guys, Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be the next success story because for a limited time, you can use my code Zhoniin to get your free topper. It's the perfect accessory for your Fume device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It's chewable for those who love to fidget, and it's reusable. So head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com and use code Zhoniin or scan the QR code on screen to get your free Fume topper when you order your journey pack today. Thanks, guys. But anyway, on the final page, there is a silhouette walking through the woods of Elbaf. Oda's favorite panel to make, the silhouetted character. Who is it this time? No idea, of course. I mean, it's one thing to look at a silhouette on a page, we try to figure it out, but it's another thing to just read the word silhouette as text and trying to decipher what that is. So, first of all, it could be Loki. Like we were talking about, maybe Luffy released him from his chains and now he's going through Elbaf. Another possibility is that it's the silhouetted character that we saw at the end of chapter 1124. When the Straw Hats were finally leaving Egghead, we saw that there was a guy, looked like he had a hat on, and he said, "Come on," or "Come on," or I don't know, like, "Come here," I guess, whatever. Now, it's also very possible that that individual was the individual that we saw drinking sake with Crocus on one of the cover chapters. So it means that this guy is important, or respectable, since Crocus is drinking with him, and Crocus was on Roger's crew. He was like the doctor that was keeping Roger alive long enough so that he could do his final speed run. It's also possible that Leis Arnold is like here too. I mean, it's not likely that he is alive. I mean, if he was a giant, he would be alive, but I guess he's not a giant. I don't know, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's Saul? But at the end of the previous chapter, we found out that Saul had, like, collapsed. Because as we saw Robin and the rest of the Straw Hats approaching Elbaf, in the very last panel, it cut to like this dude screaming saying, "It's Dr. Saul, he's fallen and he won't get up." So maybe Saul did get up and now he's walking through the woods. Probably not. Or maybe it's the person who made Saul collapse. If a person did, we still don't really know why he fell. And then there's, of course, the chance that it's just entirely a new character. We're not supposed to know who this person is, but they're silhouetted anyway, just because that's what Oda likes to do. And I don't know, it's like a new antagonist, another antagonist, if Loki is in fact the antagonist of this arc, or the main antagonist. And then big wild card is that it's Shanks. I know that's crazy. Shanks technically shouldn't be here because he was just here and I think he left, right? And I know Luffy asked in the previous chapter if Shanks is still here on Elbaf, but I'm just assuming that he's not. Not saying that Shanks won't show up because it seems like he will. I mean, eventually, but if he doesn't, then that's fine too, I guess. Matter. There's enough stuff to focus on in this arc, I suppose. But yeah, your guess is as good as mine, as usual. Let me know who you think the silhouette is. Also, let me know if you think Luffy released Loki. You can do that in the comments, as usual. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.